Hello Game fans, not too many Metroidvania titles of interest in the Steam Next Festival, but we do have some hotly anticipated titles getting demos, so you know the drill, give these a try, and if you enjoy them, drop the developer's wishlist on Steam. Let's begin with PSYCRON, a title that I mentioned in a recent video covering games in the genre, where despite the simple pixel art, has the classic sci-fi setting that makes it more on the Metroid end of Metroidvania. The description on the store page states that there's something roaming the halls and stalking you each step of the way, adding a little bit of a horror element to this, where I do like the pixel art, which reminds me of Environmental Station Alpha. If you're sick of classic gothic horror or sci-fi settings for Metroidvania, how about a talent show with a social media twist? Well, that's the premise for Fantasy Network, where the president has stepped down and whoever wins the 5 talent shows gets to become next in line. It's a colourful, vibrant world having cute, cartoony visuals, with this new trailer showing off some alternative gameplay elements like racing and rhythm sections, which provides variety. There's a meta social network within the game, which you interact with using the in-game phone, which makes it unique in the space. A title that I covered during its Kickstarter campaign is Zapling Bygone, a very curious entry since you play as an alien blob, equipping various skulls in order to get abilities, but I think that the animation of the character is very alien and unnerving, so great job by the developer on that. If you're curious as to whether or not the flailing limbs feel good to control, do give the demo a try, but it was successfully kickstarted in May this year and should be out next year, so check it out and wishlist if interested. The developer of Deep Night Detective Chapter 1 did reach out to me on Twitter, where after having taken a look, it did get my attention. It's a pixel art entry, so that's step 1 in getting my attention, but the art is pretty good as well with some interesting boss designs. The main character is the eponymous Deep Night Detective, named Victor Spooky, so that's already fantastic, having to investigate a creepy manor which has been linked to 2 disappearances, being quite the intriguing prospect. The grimdark fairy tale setting has been used in quite a number of games, and another one to do so is The Darkest Tales, one where you play as a teddy bear heading to the far side of happily ever after in order to rescue his owner. I think that the art in this looks fantastic, with some sleek combat as well, making it a no-brainer for fans of the genre. Another title that has appeared on the channel before is Faerie Afterlight, a beautiful game where our 2 heroes go on a journey to find the embodiment of Shattered Light herself. While it does look like a puzzle platformer, I'm told that this does have Metroidvania elements, where defeating a boss will net you an ability, like the spider boss and the ability to jump over vertical walls. Beautiful art as well, but the pastely colours do hide a challenging game, making it a must-try this time around.
Hope you don't have too many questions, because I'm still piecing things together. We're in trouble with Eli Faust. I don't know why, and I don't want to talk about it. I just want to find Jericho and leave all of this behind. Normally I'd say that's impossible, but I'll find a way.
Reina and Jericho has been on my radar for a little bit, but I never showed it off since I wasn't quite sure of the quality, one which uses 3D models and environments but isn't exactly the prettiest game. This means that events like the Steam Game Festival are perfect for showing it off, since you do get hands-on, but the game's description talks about confronting our heroine's past, present and future as she battles foes and bends time itself, making me curious as to how this would work in the game. Glimmer and Mirror is one of the most gorgeous games in development, where the flowing locks of our heroine do add to the flair, all taking place in a gorgeous fantasy world. Interestingly, the focus seems to be on ranged attacks rather than melee here, which would mean differences in design, although I do get a Hollow Knight vibe from some of the areas and enemies shown off. This one will be familiar to fans of the channel since I've mentioned the Souls-like Metroidvania Grime a number of times on the channel, where it did release a curiously long introductory trailer during one of the conventions but did not show any gameplay, so if you're curious as to how it played, do check out the demo. Play as a living black hole as you crush enemies with your mutating living weapons, having enemies that look as if they were made out of rock and roots, but are very unnervingly human in design. If you enjoyed games like Blasphemous, the brutality of the action should be of interest, although I don't think it's as gory, but if you love Metroidvanias or Souls-like games, it's a no-brainer to pick up. A title that has been on my watchlist is the very anime Frontier Hunter Urza's Wheel of Fortune, a Metroidvania entry from the developer of the roguelite platformer Tower Hunter Urza's Trowel. While it stars the same protagonist, this is a full-on Metroidvania, where interestingly, it allows you to swap between 3 playable characters and even summon multiple at the same time. The world is an interesting mix of technology and fantasy, having dragons coexist alongside battlecruisers, as well as swords and bazookas all in the same game. As a result, I'm very curious about this, giving me a little bit of a bloodstained Ritual of the Night vibe due to the look, so it takes the number 1 spot. For more upcoming Metroidvania games, check out this video and I will see you after the jump.